Welcome to Sakshi TV, Mana Sakshi. I'm your host, Advait Vigala, and today we will be talking about the IPL playoffs and cricket in USA. So today I have two guests with me, Mr. Golam and Mr. Venkatesh. So hi, sir.
Hi.
So there's a lot to talk about in the IPL as we had playoffs and the qualifier one and the eliminator is done. And Mumbai Indians are in the finals. So let's see how qualifier one went off. So Mumbai Indians versus the Delhi Capitals. So first, Mumbai Indians put a monstrous total on the board of 200 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the 20 overs they bowled, thanks to Hardik Pandya and the Pocket Dynamite Ishan Kishan. The Delhi Capitals had a big blow, three ducks in a row in the start of their innings. In the first over, thanks to Trent Bolt, and in the second over, thanks to the unplayable delivery of Jasprit Bumrah. Delhi Capitals, you can say in this match, they didn't bat relatively bad. This is the thing that Mumbai Indians had a very good bowling attack. And the second match yesterday, RCB versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. The loser gets eliminated, and that's it for the IPL 2020. And the winner goes to play in qualifier 2 against the Delhi Capitals. The Sunrisers Hyderabad won this match with ease thanks to Cool Kane and Jason Moller, both international experienced captain, one of West Indies, one of New Zealand. So today I'll be asking my questions now. So first to Mr. Golam. So what are the current age levels in USA cricket, and how should the selection process be there?
Currently, what happened, there is no age level, only they do it like a 19, under 19. And the the process is they call all the players for start from 15, 17 years old kids for the trial, for the qualifying for USA World Cup. They do that. But what I feel like that every state or whoever the states who plays cricket, I think they should have like a under 13, under 15, under 17, 19 team. They should have particular those players instead of calling everybody for under 19 start from 14 years kids to year. So that's the process. Because I'm coming from the test playing nation from Bangladesh. So I used to run cricket there for 8 years for 2000 to 2007. Sorry, 7 years I ran. So that time the Saqib Mushfiq was there in that slot. So so I know these things how to run that thing. But the thing is, you have to have like a under 15, 17 team your state wise. You should have. Then you can pick easily the players instead of processing, they give them they call the players and give them 4 overs in the middle, go and play, and that's how they pick the players, which I not agree with that thing. So players should be play on the middle, and they should watch all the way that it's a 50 overs game. You should put up like a three to four games. Then out of that, you should pick the players from there. That's what I felt, but which is not happening in here like that. So if they want to reach the highest level in the world level, class level, they need to start do that. Basically, that's what I think.
What you said is true because that format of checking players and coaching players is true because in 4 overs, it's not easy to find select a player for the team in the first place because 4 overs can do anything. It's based on the type of bowling attack you give to them. And later on, if you say 50 overs, as you mentioned, giving a practice game, who knows? One time they're in form, other times they're not in form. Like, for example, in the IPL, we have Prithvi Shaw. What in the start of the tournament, he is in form, and the second half of the tournament, he is getting duck. He has gone for a duck many times. So what you've mentioned is very good. So another question for you, sir. So how do you think they can improve coaching for each age level in USA?
We have naturally what I felt that each age level they should have a batting coach, bowling coach, fielding, and they should have a trainer, because nowadays the fitness is one of the major issue also, because you need a strong, because you have to hit the ball. Those days are no more here now. So physically you have to be strong. You need that fitness coach, batting, bowling, because to teach the young kids the basic things, I mean, you need those. They should be strong in basic. After that, if they learn the basic, they can play any format of the game. That's what I believe. So that is very important for them to improve those things. They should have the different coaches. I mean, in the what you call to improve the U.S. cricket or the basically age level cricket. they should learn the basic. You have to work hard on that.
Agreed, because having a trainer in will help them get the strength and core. Because in USA also getting a trainer is actually an easy thing, because training for any sport is kind of similar, because you need the energy, you need the fitness level for cricket to play, and you need the stamina. Staying for like 50 overs, and if it's a test cricket, you have to stay there for days. So having the stamina, what you've mentioned, is also very thoughtful and very important too for getting cricket coaching in USA. So one more question to you. So how are academies are coaching to improve cricket at each age level and meet expectations?
Yeah, actually, that's very important. The academy, what I felt like, they should run a camp, something like that, when the summertime is going on, because it's a 3 months off in USA. So they should run. Major thing is they should run camp. And number two, what I said, that they should have a different sort of coaches, like batting, bowling, and they should not, one person will teach batting, bowling, and everything. So it doesn't work that much. Kids doesn't get it actually. So because the kids are they're smart, they're quick learner too also, what I found that. But my thing is, the academies, they should run the camp, and they should have like a what do you call the for the ball, for the kids, they should have more equipments they need, basically, like a bowling machines, those things. And they should, inside the indoor, they should have those things, the more equipments for them to for the basic strong. And what I feel, that instead of that, also they should play outside more games. If they don't play games, it doesn't work that much, because we play very less number of games. We don't compete with state to state, those things. We are playing among ourselves. So what I felt, that to improve more cricket, I mean, they should travel a little bit, so they'll get more strong, and how to travel by themselves with the with the team. And when they go to other states, the different atmosphere there, they should learn that way. That's what I felt, that academy people should organize that things also, not only coaching their himself inside their indoors and those things. And they should have what do you call, like go outside and play.
Understood. Because based on what you're saying, it's true for the encouraging the sports and better equipment in cricket in USA. Because as you know, bowling machines also, it helps a lot. Even though if the bowlers are not there, bowling machines, you can choose what kind of ball you want. So that's very helpful, because sometimes you tell the bowler bowl a medium pace ball and different line and different length. But then with the bowling machine, you can choose that. So what you've mentioned is actually very informative. So I agree with you. So the last question for you, sir. So how do you think they can make the cricket sport and cricket general very popular in USA? As we all know, the main sports which are taking USA, sports in USA is considered as basketball, football, soccer. How do you think they can develop cricket and make it a well-known sport in USA?
Yeah, look, cricket is the second popular game in the world. So what I felt like, that it's a like a till you go to the school level, because you have to go to the school level. So it is very hard to get into there, because I tried so many times. I tried to, because they have so many safety issues and those things. Only what I believe, that if you have to go there, the school level only, it is not possible for us. It is the Cricket USA board. They have to, approach to state by state, make sure they include this game in the school level. Once you get in there, it will be big, huge popular game, what I believe, like that. And that's what I believe. And plus, you can bring a lot of sponsors, a lot of things in the, USA has a big sponsors are there too. So you don't have any problem with that, I believe. So US Cricket Board has to step in to that, basically.
That's true. Getting in school level. In India also, we see there's a lot of cricket in school level. There are other sports also in school level, but cricket is mainly there. And if you have it more professionally, then you'll be well known throughout the world. That you have basketball and soccer, football in school level. Cricket also there with each and every state, as I mentioned, each and every state should know about that. That take a lot of time. So and cricket in US also, they mostly prioritize sports like basketball, and getting the youngsters used to the sport of cricket. It'll take time for them because they're used to their particular sports like football and soccer, and then you have basketball too. So those are all the questions for you. So thank you, sir. So now, Mr. Venkatesh, these are the questions for you. So what do you think batsmen should do against bowlers like Rashid Khan, Bumrah, and Rabada? Should they just play them off, or should they try scoring runs against them as these are the playoffs?
Yeah, it's a good idea to play them out if you're confident that the remaining 16 overs you will get enough boundary balls from the other bowler. So if the other bowlers are weak, then you can just play them out. Otherwise, you cannot just ignore 4 overs from the main bowler. So that was the case with Sunrisers initially when the other bowlers were not doing well. Batsmen used to play out Rashid Khan and concentrate on other bowlers to get more runs. They used to get a lot of boundaries from other bowlers, but that is not the case now because now Sunrisers have a very good attack. Sandeep Sharma has come up very well. Jason Holder is doing well. Even somebody like Shahbaz Nadeem has come up very well because pitches are now helping the spinners. And this man Natarajan is a revelation this time because he's doing very well with his Yorkers. And he's getting some prize wickets like those of Virat Kohli, Dhoni, and De Villiers. So Sunrisers attack is now looking very good. But only if you feel that the other bowlers are weak. Even with Mumbai, you cannot just play out Bumrah because other bowlers are equally good.
Bold, Cotton Island, Rahul Chahar. Agreed with you, sir, because if you see, Delhi Capitals is the only one who doesn't have the leading edge. Sunrisers Hyderabad, the bowling attack is now set. Sandeep Sharma being a very good replacement for Bhuvnesh Kumar. Now, next season, Sunrisers Hyderabad are now planned because now you have Bhuvi, you have Natarajan, you have Sandeep Sharma. So it'll be a big toss to know who to play. And Jason Holder, in the 6 matches he's played, he got 13 wickets, which is an enormous number, more than half the wickets, more than half the matches he has played. So it'll be a tough toss next season for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And Mumbai Indians, they have Rahul Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah, all high wicket takers. So Cotton Island, he is not in a better form, but he is good enough. And I see batsmen scoring runs off him. And the Delhi Capitals is the only team whose bowling lineup is not that good. If you say Ravichandran Ashwin in the past couple of matches, he's been the breakthrough for Delhi Capitals at some points. For Rabada, Anik Nortje, they're being very expensive. And here and there, Anik Nortje is picking up wickets. But Rabada is not able to pick up wickets anymore. That's why he lost possession of Purple Cap, and Jasprit Bumrah has it. So one more question to you, sir. What has gone wrong in the Delhi Capitals momentum?
Yeah, Delhi Capitals, initially they did very well. I think they peaked too early. So peaking at the right time, like Sunrisers, is the need of the hour. But what they did, they started off very well. Suddenly, everybody in the team seems to have lost their form. Batsmen, bowlers, and all-rounders, everybody. Stoinis did initially well, but he fell out off late. And same is the case with Rabada and Anik Nortje. Initially, they did very well. They were in the top of the list in the Purple Cap race. And their batsmen like Prithvi Shaw and Rishabh Pant, their failure is hurting them very bad. Shikhar Dhawan is doing well in some matches. He's like blow hot, blow cold. In some matches, he's getting those hundreds and 50s. And in other matches, he's getting out for those single-digit scores. So they are not very consistent with their performance. So that is hurting them. Suddenly, at the business end of the tournament, they lost their bearings. Suddenly, the wheels seems to have come off.
Understood. Because Delhi, as you mentioned, Delhi Capitals, the start of the tournament, they had a very good momentum. The same thing we see in 2019, Sunrisers Hyderabad, they had the same thing. Once they lost Bairstow, they lost Warner, they lost 3 matches in a row. They qualified to the playoffs with a bare margin, but still, it took a lot of time for them. So one more question to you, sir. Yesterday, what do you think Sunrisers Hyderabad played slow? Why do you think so? They played very slow in the start.
I don't think they played slowly, but they were planning the chase in a proper manner because Williamson knew pretty well that the target is not a stiff one. So he planned it he paced his innings beautiful because you know that spinners are the real danger. Spinners were getting a lot of punches. They were making the ball to grip. So he just played out the overs of those 2 world-class leg spinners, Zampa and Chahar. And he knew that after that, the pacers will come back and the extra pace will make the ball to come onto the bat. So he was waiting for that. And he was getting those occasional boundaries, not that he was not having the run rate in mind. And he had the support of Jason Holder, and he knew that Jason Holder can pull off those big hits if needed. So he was planning that chase in a proper manner, and he took the game very deep, like we used to see with Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Mahendra Singh Dhoni always believed in taking the game very deep and scoring in the last overs by changing the games. So Williamson also, I think, adopted the same strategy, and with just 2 balls to spare, they could achieve that target.
Agreed, because taking the game deep is very good. You see, the other day against Rajasthan Royals, also Sunrisers Hyderabad, both Vijay Shankar and Manish Pandey took the game deep. Vijay Shankar might have taken the game deep, but Manish Pandey was the one on fire. It was very good strategy. Even Dhoni does it a lot of time. And comparing Kane Williamson with a player like Dhoni on a high class level, he has his own standard. And I feel comparing Kane here is also a good thing. As you see in Dhoni last year in the World Cup, he took the game deep, but unfortunately couldn't finish it off because of the number of wickets remaining. If India sent Dhoni early on, India would have won that match with ease because they had so many batsmen later. They sent Rishabh Pant, Dinesh Karthik Pandya way before Dhoni. If they also sent in Jadeja before Dhoni, we would have not known what to do then. So that's it for this question. So guys, we want to talk about one more thing. Tomorrow's match, Sunrisers Hyderabad versus the Delhi Capitals, qualifier 2. This match is going to be a heat-bending match. Very great matchups. Rashid Khan versus Shreyas Iyer. Kagiso Rabada versus David Warner. Rashid Khan is a very good matchup against Shreyas Iyer because he has been taking his wicket, and Shreyas Iyer loves playing against Rashid Khan. If you see one of his interviews, you ask Shreyas Iyer, which bowler are you excited to face in this IPL? He said Rashid Khan, and everyone's scared of Rashid Khan. Usually, we see them play him off. He has one of the best economies in this IPL. So putting the challenge against Rashid Khan is a very good, very brave thing, and a lot of guts from Shreyas Iyer. One more thing, Kagiso Rabada versus David Warner. Even although Kagiso Rabada has taken Warner's wicket before, still Warner is a very explosive batsman. It's seen the last encounter between Delhi and Sunrisers Hyderabad. The Sunrisers Hyderabad, so David Warner was able to score a lot of runs against Kagiso Rabada, especially during the power play. And in the season, both encounters, Sunrisers Hyderabad has out-ratioed the Delhi Capitals so far. And in tomorrow's match, if Sunrisers wins, they'll beat them 3-0. And Sunrisers and Hyderabad are the ones who are in form, winning 4 matches in a row, and Delhi Capitals came from a huge loss in qualifier 1. A very bad bowling performance by the bowlers. So, sir, one more question for you.
Yeah.
Should Delhi continue playing the same order? Should they change it up? Because qualifier 2 is coming, and that's their only chance to make it to the playoffs, make it to the finals.
They need to make some changes, and they have to take a call on Prithvi Shaw because he has been failing continuously. I think they would prefer to open with Rahane and bring back Shimron Hetmyer to strengthen their batting. That is the only choice they're having. Or else they may drop Daniel Sams and bring Sandeep Lamichhane, the leg spinner, because we have seen Royal Challengers Bangalore playing 4 spinners in the eliminator match. So they have to make some changes because Daniel Sams has not picked up even a single wicket in the 3 matches that he played, and he went for a few. So I think he should be replaced. His value as a left-arm seamer is not very effective for the team. So that change we can expect, and they have to take a call on Prithvi Shaw. I don't know whether they will continue with him or try to bring back Hetmyer. So those are the 2 changes I expect from them. Otherwise, I think they will continue the same team, and their approach should change. They should be more aggressive in this match compared to what they did in the qualifier 1.
Well, you said it's correct because spinners in this pitch, as I seen yesterday, they had 4 spinners, only 2 seam bowlers. If they had 1 more seam bowler, Sunrisers Hyderabad would have won this match with ease due to the spin bowling attack of Adam Zampa, Chahal. That was the one factor which could have lost them the game. And DC should think about that because Sandeep Lamichhane, he is not a bad player. He has been in the IPL coming from Nepal. So you should think about it. Being at that standard, they selected him for a reason, and he's played for the team before. So that's why I feel they should bring back Sandeep Lamichhane. And in my prediction, in the start of the season for the main 11 of Delhi Capitals, I predicted Sandeep Lamichhane would be there, but unfortunately, he was not there. So what you said is correct. So one more question for you. Would Rohit Sharma's performance make a huge difference for the Mumbai Indians batting lineup? As we all know, in the last 2 matches, he didn't perform very well. It was the other batsmen who did well. So in this match, do you think he'll perform them positively or negatively?
I think they don't. I don't think they are too much worried about Rohit Sharma's bad form because all other batsmen are in very good form, so it is not hurting them a lot. So I think Rohit Sharma is too good a batsman not to be in a bad form for long. I think he will make up amends. He will definitely score big in the next match. That is not a problem actually because Surya Kumar Yadav, Deacock, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, all these players are in very good form. So they bat very deep with Pollard coming at number 7. So batting is not at all a worry. Their only worry is the fact that against in their last league match, they rested both Bumrah and Bolt. And their bowling lost its seam. So they are overly dependent on these two bowlers to pick up the wickets. The other bowlers have to look good. Only Bumrah and Bolt should pick up wickets. Otherwise, their bowling is not as strong as it appears. So that is the only worry they are having.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you see Sunrisers Hyderabad against Mumbai Indians, that's the same Mumbai Indians batting line, the same one. Which, if they go to the finals, that's the same line they're going to face because it'll be the same bowlers. And Sunrisers Hyderabad, we don't know if Bumrah and Bolt, if they were in that match, if it would make a difference. So we have to see that. So if Rahul Chahar, Nathan Coulter strike more, it'll be better. So,
Yeah.
sir, one more question. So, what should the bowlers plan against Hardik? Because, as you know, whoever goes to the finals, Rashid Khan or Delhi Capitals. If Delhi Capitals is there, what do they have to do? If Sunrisers Hyderabad is there, what do they have to do against Hardik Pandya, this explosive batsman?
Yeah, Hardik Pandya is in red hot form right now. So they have to have separate plans for him. I think spinner is the right option because usually he's coming in the death overs where mostly he's facing pace bowling and he's eating those big sixes. But having a spinner, a leg spinner, particularly against him, Delhi probably right now they are not having the choice of a leg spinner. But having a spinner against him, not giving him a lot of pace, could be the right idea to keep him in control. But because he's using the pace of the bowlers and hitting those big sixes. And even if they bowl Yorker also, you can observe his stance. He goes very deep into the crease. He uses the depth of the crease very well and stays low and clears the boundary. So he has got a very good technique to counter the Yorkers. So very difficult for the pace bowlers to control him. I think spin is the right weapon against him.
What you said is true because, as you see in Delhi Capitals, if you see Sunrisers Hyderabad have a leaning edge against the Mumbai Indians batting attack, especially Hardik, because you see bowlers can bowl slow, and Natarajan, Jason Holder has an extra bounce against him, and Sandeep Sharma. If you see Delhi Capitals bowler, they have a lot of pace, and that's what Hardik Pandya wants. He wants the pace. If you see his average against slow deliveries, he hasn't performed very well. He tends to miss the shot with the swing. What do you think was the reason behind Kohli opening yesterday in the match instead of Aaron Finch or Josh Philippe?
Actually, I think Kohli should have done that much before because both Aaron Finch and Joshua Philippe were struggling as openers. And that was putting a lot of pressure on that youngster Padikkal because he was not getting enough support from the other opener. So they had that issue of having a good partner for Padikkal who has been doing very well. I think they erred in sending Finch or Philippe to open with him. It was always, you can see his record also. Virat Kohli always had a good record while opening for RCB. But since Finch is a regular opener, he had to sacrifice that position. But I think had Kohli opened with Padikkal, Padikkal would have batted with much more freedom than what he did in some of the matches. We have seen in the later half of the tournament that Padikkal was not scoring as freely as he was doing in the initial matches.
That's true because Taylor Padikkal, he's the top scorer of RCB. He needs support. The same thing with Warner also, as you've seen, because Warner is batting more freely with Saha. If you see with Bairstow, they both are struggling. None of them were starting. If one started off, it took time for them. But this time with Saha, he's able to bat freely because he knows that Saha is going free, so he releases wings. So the last question for you, sir. So who do you think is going to win tomorrow? Sunrisers Hyderabad or Delhi Capitals, and why?
I think on current form, Sunrisers will start as favourites because they have won 4 matches and their record against Delhi. They won both their league fixtures against Delhi and won them handsomely. And the slowishness nature of the pitches will suit their bowling. because the extra pace of Rabada and Henrik Nokia we have seen against Mumbai also, that will help the batsman to score freely. The ball will come nicely onto the bat. But whereas the medium pace of Sandeep Sharma, Jason Holder is hard to play. So I think they are also having a better spin attack in Rashid Khan and Shahbaz Nadeem. Of course, Ashwin did very well in the last match, but still, I think Sunrisers will start as favorites on current.
Yeah, so that's it. So thank you, Mr. Venkatesh, for coming, and unfortunately, Mr. Golam disconnected. So that's it for today's news. This is Sakshi. Thank you for watching Sakshi TV, Mana Sakshi. I'm your host, Advait Vigala, signing off.